Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Boiling Point Podcast Quarantine Edition. I'm Caroline Parziali, and I'm here with. Say your names.
I am Rick, aka the
No, stop.
Patriarchy.
Okay, well,
We've revived the patriarchy. Anyway, I'm Jung, the token minority character.
I thought you were Jason.
Well,
He's everything and
I
nothing.
am every
You
J
are
name.
every J name.
I am every J name imaginable.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jang Ishek.
What is the topic of this discussion for this podcast? I almost said this month,
I forgot.
but then I realized.
Are we on politics or are we on philosophy?
Philosophy was last episode, so we're on politics.
I don't remember. I don't know. It's been like.
Is this the third episode or the
3
fourth
years.
one?
This is the
This
third
is the third
episode.
episode. So it's
if
politics.
you looked at the invite link, I'm pretty sure I wrote down third episode.
You did.
You
did in fact do that. I just didn't read it.
I read it. I just didn't comprehend it. It didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad this is happening. Anyway.
So, if no one else has any topics to start with, then I will go. Anyone?
Nah, you go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you're our topic connoisseur.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about this whole coronavirus.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now we're gonna get demonetized.
Let's talk
How
about...
are we demonetized on
We're
YouTube?
not monetized in the beginning, so we can't lose something we never had.
We could be monetized.
It's like my dignity.
You have that still?
No, that's why I can't lose it, because I don't have it.
Well,
wow.
But then it wouldn't matter.
What a mad lad.
That's the point.
What?
Anyway.
Off the topic of imaginary things, let's talk about the most imaginary thing.
The coronavirus.
Yeah.
It was
apparently caused by 5G cell phone towers.
Yeah. Do you know in Britain people are like attacking phone towers?
What's happening in Canada too?
Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada.
For spacious sky. That's not the song.
No, I'm singing the Canadian national anthem.
Goop.
I was singing something else that I don't know.
We know.
Y'all know.
Y'all watch the "Oh Beautiful for Spacious Skies."
Yeah,
that's an American song.
That's an America song.
You're
probably
Yankee.
Right. Correct. Now give me my tricorn hat with a feather in it.
The worst part about this is my sleep schedule.
That's
you still have one of those?
For me, it is not the worst part of it in general. I'm not saying that my sleeping schedule being messed up is worse than like 1 million people being infected.
I'm surprised you still have a sleep schedule.
That's the problem, is that I don't. Well, I do, but it's messed up.
Okay, so I'm going to send each of you an image, and I think we should discuss it.
Am I going to put this in the podcast?
You probably should.
All right.
Why don't we have a group chat?
Do you want me to make one?
That is a great question.
We should probably make one.
I will make a Discord one.
Okay. So we're looking at this image. Not only that, okay.
What? Oh, North Carolina.
This isn't a group chat, this is a server.
And South Carolina.
Same difference.
Should just merge and become one Carolina.
The Carolina. Carolina. Why doesn't North and South Dakota merge into?
They should too. And West Virginia and Virginia should just be Virginia.
Big Virginia.
It at one point was Big Virginia.
Girthy Virginia. Yeah, I know. And then the Civil
War. Why would you describe it as girthy?
Why would you describe it as girthy?
Because
there's nothing. girthy
is
about it.
expanding in girth.
Please never say that again in this context, Caroline.
Am I allowed to say it in other contexts?
Yes.
Isn't this supposed to be like a?
So let's talk about how protesting is a non-essential activity.
I was reading, I don't think it's the same scenario, but I was reading something about how there were some people protesting the stay-at-home order in a state, and their protest was outside of a hospital, and they were blocking the way into like the trauma center, and the ambulances couldn't get into the hospital because the people were there protesting the ambulances.
No, that
Who
it
protests
just
an
doesn't.
ambulance?
That doesn't make sense. Like,
Okay,
if
let's
you're
talk
gonna
about
protest, at least do it in front of like the governor's. Like,
Yeah,
which is,
and
I
so
believe, what
all these
this
healthcare
protest
workers
was.
took pictures of like from the building of the people, and like how none of their equipment could come in and stuff like that.
So
yeah, that's like.
ignoring those dumb people, let's talk about this more nuanced protest. Well, it's not.
Uh,
I mean, most people protesting the stay-at-home order don't understand the scope of the event. I wanted to talk specifically about the rally police statement protesting is a non-essential activity.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Is it really important to go outside in this time of whatchamacallit,
Plague.
crisis? Yeah, all those. Like, you're being placed under quarantine, and then you want to go outside and protest for what exactly?
That you're being put under quarantine. A lot of people are like, quarantine is for people who are sick. I'm not sick, therefore it's a violation of my rights to not be allowed to go out.
Yeah,
I
that is the argument they're making.
Yeah. I think that the statement protesting is not an essential activity is maybe a little bit
I mean,
convoluted, but I feel like you can make yourself understood and express your opinions. You can modify your means of protest in
Yeah,
this
like,
kind of situation.
there are ways to protest this, but
there's
don't risk transferring the virus.
Yeah.
I mean,
A social
change.
distance protest, keep everyone exactly 6 feet away from each other, but also holding signs.
I'm
Also, like,
looking at Twitter right now to find that
websites
thing.
like websites like change.org exist. Sign a petition, show it to the governor.
Oh, they arrested people at the protest.
Yeah, and that's kind of
Because
what I want to talk about.
that's kind of endangering others, isn't it?
Yeah, so from what I understand, they were arrested for violating the gubernatorial order
Yep.
to banning gatherings of more than 5 or 10 people, whichever one South Carolina went with.
I
But
mean,
it does
like,
seem a bunch of the conspiracy theorist people are claiming that they're gonna some shady insert whatever group you believe controls the world is using the coronavirus to enact martial law and
the
other nonsensical
reptilians
things. The reptilians, the globalists. If
and
you're a
everything in
real
between.
Nazi, you know that one religion.
Ugh,
Well, they issued a statement about it.
cool. Could
They
you?
said,
Could,
Are you gonna
yes,
tell
I'm
us?
gonna read it. I had to open it first because it's typed in notes, like on the iPhone.
Oof.
Okay. So it's
fucking.
pretty long. I might just summarize. I'll read the first part. Okay, quote. The goal of the Raleigh Police Department is to help residents remain as safe as possible during the COVID-19 pandemic by reminding them to observe the Wake County stay-at-home proclamation and the governor's executive orders. In these unprecedented times and unusual circumstances, both the governor and the county have declared a state of emergency. Under these current and temporary declarations, protesting is not listed as an essential function.
I mean,
And then it talks about how the Wake County District Attorney is the individual who decides charging language for failure to adhere to the governor's orders and the Wake County proclamation. Da 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 da. Be safe. More important is the health and wellness of all who live in our community, including our officers. Any questions related to the arrest at the protest at the state capitol should be directed to the arresting agency, the State Capitol Police.
hmm.
Oh, one of these replies says, "Great job, you did the right thing."
Oof. I mean, I don't think they understand the context of this like arrest because they do realize that if a lot of people are in one place, that the risk of infection goes up by like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it's like practicing your freedom of speech, and I'm all for that.
Hmm.
But at the same time, endangering others while doing this is kind of it's like the it's like that one Supreme Court case. What is it? Shank versus the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I
Is it the
think.
one where he was handing out the pamphlets?
Yeah, he was like handing out anti-draft pamphlets, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, no, you can't do that, dude. We can restrict freedom of speech if it endangers the lives of others." And I'm like, that applies
I,
here too.
I agree that that statement applies here. I think the example you brought up is the wrong one.
Is it?
Because an anti draft protest is significantly different than an anti quarantine protest.
I understand that, but
The ruling works, yeah.
the principle behind it is what I'm saying. Principle behind it works.
Yeah. It's just that I have trouble with the protesting as a non essential activity statement.
Yeah, then they didn't apologize for it. Obviously, through the statement I just read, they were like, they
You
didn't
are
list
right.
it. But the problem with that is, like, it's in the Constitution.
Yeah, yeah.
And they swore
Bill
an
of
oath
Rights be like.
to uphold the Constitution. I don't think they swore an oath to uphold executive orders, to be frank.
Well,
But
I don't know
I
what
don't know about
police. I don't
police.
know what policemen swear in order to. I know the officer's oath is to the Constitution.
Yeah.
It's not to the president. It's to the
Well,
Constitution.
I'm reading all this stuff, and it's either things like, this is what the Second Amendment is for, and or it's a lot of people are saying, I did not see this coming.
Okay, that's just low hanging fruit. They can do better
Yeah,
than that.
they.
And
I mean,
I mean,
oh, oh,
they're probably trying to make a joke, but
quote,
that's a cheap joke.
we were following orders. I seem to remember some individuals in history saying that. There was a big trial. Nuremberg. Does that ring a bell?
I don't think that's a good.
So,
I like
I,
it. They're just throwing
yeah.
out like. Oh no, I shouldn't be cursing in this, should I?
Haha. It's not just me now.
Okay, well that's a quarter in the swear jar.
Oh my god. Okay, no, I can't say that.
I mean, I don't know. Is one curse equivalent to like 6 Nazi jokes that's been told in the like last 5 minutes?
reading Nazi jokes on Twitter versus saying Nazi jokes are significantly different.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that.
So this is another. This does help transition to another thing I'd like to talk about. It's according to Twitter, it's National
No,
Horny
don't
Day.
say that.
I'm going to say
That's
that.
not appropriate.
How is it not
That is,
appropriate? It's a national holiday.
Oh my
It's clearly talking about horned animals,
god. Okay.
yeah,
such
like
as the
deers.
rhinoceros
You, I
and the
was,
ram. Get your
I,
mind out of the gutter, Caroline.
I was going for deers, caribous, and other,
Exactly. I just picked rhinoceros. I like rhinoceros.
and also like moose. And
Oh god, Jesus.
y'all like moose?
Jackalopes.
Pretty sure isn't that a rabbit?
Can you hear my computer whizzing?
No.
Okay.
Vaguely.
Well,
Anyway, the next topic I would like to talk about is my new favorite set of memes, the political compass memes.
oh god. Are we now done talking about the coronavirus?
No, we can talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Are we gonna go back? Are we gonna go back to everything Trump has done wrong about the coronavirus?
Oh yeah, he withheld he's cutting off funding to the World Health Organization,
Which
and
is
the
fucking
US
stupid.
like
I
intelligence services are going to investigate their handling of the coronavirus.
I
Love
really gotta
that.
stop cursing.
So I think that is due to some. I don't want to call them conspiracy theorists. I will call them questionable people who have been insisting that the WHO
The
is being
who?
paid off by
The who?
China.
Yeah, and there's also
Well,
all that stuff about how that now like US intelligence services are investigating whether it originated in a Chinese lab. Like it's
Yeah,
real
I
like
don't.
legit what?
it was like
Also,
it was.
say
Legitimately.
the phrase FBI investigates lead is not news. If they come back with something, that will be news. But the FBI investigates a lot of stuff
Yeah,
Wait,
but like
hmm.
why
because they're a crime fighting
no,
organization. That's kind
I
of their job.
understand. I just
Shouldn't like I don't know like
Lawman does law is not a headline.
okay. Well, in any
So,
case,
something else we can talk about if we want to stay on the coronavirus is that check that they sent out to
oh
people.
yeah.
oh yeah,
The what are they calling it? The Trump check because he
He
insisted
put
his
his
name be
name
on
on
it.
it. Yeah. Um, well, I've there's a lot of things about how college students are kind of getting screwed over by that because it's based off of your 2019 tax returns, which are the ones that are filed this year. Most my mom says most people haven't filed their taxes for this year yet, like when they decided to do that. So then it goes to the 2018 tax returns. And so people that are claimed as a dependent on their parents' tax returns, like a lot of like 24-year-olds who are on their parents' health insurance are claimed as dependents on their parents' tax forms for like what I don't remember what the word is for this, but like you get money back or like you get a deductible. You get a deductible if you claim someone as your dependent on your tax returns, even if they don't live with you and you don't support them financially. If you, since they're on their parents' health insurance, you can claim them as a dependent and then get a deductible and you don't have to pay as much tax. So now, like college kids and people who just graduated and people who need the $1,200 are not getting it because their parents are getting like $500 because they're considered like children or whatever. So people are mad.
Yeah. Also, anyone who actually needs the money, what is it, $1,200,
Yeah,
isn't gonna
for a
get them
family.
through 10 weeks.
Yeah. And there's also a thing with like if you don't get it now, they're going to like collect your information and then you can get it next February or something like that. And
which is not at all hopeful in this
no,
current scenario.
not particularly.
Yeah, no, it's not helpful at all.
Also, unemployment is really weird now too. Like I filed for unemployment, and even though I was laid off from my job and got reduced hours and I'm no longer getting a source of income, I don't qualify for unemployment.
Is that because you are?
I don't know why. I've filed twice now and I've been rejected both times. Um
I had to file for my parents
yeah.
because they can't speak English that well,
Mhm.
and it's kind of just been a headache trying to figure out what the heck is happening in that on that website in the first place.
Yeah. My dad had to file too, and cuz his stuff is like really complicated cuz he worked on like he got some money from the government, but then he was working for a contractor, but he was on base and all this stuff, and it took him like 4 hours to fill the thing out.
Oh my god.
And so like thinking about people who are needing cuz like my family is fine cuz my mom is still making money, but like people who actually need unemployment and who have to go through this process of like sitting next to on a computer that you may or may not have for like 3 hours in order to maybe get like $300 a week is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's yeah.
Wait, hold up. $300 a week.
I think that it might be $300 every 2 weeks. But I
Well,
think the most you can get because after you reach a certain like income bracket, there like if you make $120,000 a year and then you get laid off, they're not going to pay you $120,000 because they just don't have money for that. They'll
No.
pay you like
Minimum wage is it 7.15 or 7.25?
7.25 is minimum wage, but it's being raised to $10 by July in the state of Virginia, which is
So
unrelated.
$300. If it's $300 a week, that's $10 more than working 40 hours of minimum
Oh
wage.
yeah. Wait, actually that's like a thing is that
Some
the
people are making more money.
yeah, well, some people in Congress were like before they passed all this stuff where like they were against it because um like what was the I don't remember the exact like quote or whatever, but like three different Republican senators came out against the coronavirus bill because people who worked minimum wage would be getting more money than they would have been making, and that would encourage them to like not work anymore because they were getting like okay, wait, I gotta find the thing.
So that's another thing I'd like to talk about. So Mitt Romney is the person who's credited with introducing the legislation for the coronavirus Trump check.
Mhm.
Mitt Romney is a Republican.
Mhm.
hmm
Historically, Republicans have been against increasing the minimum wage, any kind of universal basic income, any kind of quote unquote government handouts. But when it comes to the coronavirus, all of a sudden those things are acceptable and the Republicans are passing them. So, and isn't so this can be viewed as a form of universal basic income.
Mhm.
Would you two agree that the Trump check is a like universal basic income thing?
Well, they did the same thing during the 2008 recession. The government sent people checks that were impacted by the economic downturn then.
But isn't that
And
socialism? And don't
Hmm.
the Reds hate socialism?
the Republicans think that the economy is one of the most important pieces of the American like life. I get that didn't make sense. Like the economy is really really important.
If the economy fails, the country
Yeah.
fails.
And if the economy fails, then the country fails, and then sending this money to people is not to like make sure that they have in my opinion, this is my opinion, sending this money to people is like not to try and make sure that people have all the like make sure people can pay their deductibles for the health insurance or like get food or pay their rent for a month or whatever. I think these checks are like people are getting them that don't really need them and they're going to spend them. I think that's the point. It's not to like help people out. It kind of is, but it's more of like saturating people's bank accounts with money who don't usually have it and then they're going to spend it and the economy is going to get better. I think that's the goal rather than like
Actual like
yeah. But then that's another thing is like does it matter that the goal is to raise the economy and not to actually better people's lives if it's going to help people out anyway?
Yeah, if they want people to spend money, why not just give out money?
Yeah, yes, but
hmm, you
but
know,
then they also want people to work
which in
Why?
this in
because
this
the
environment
economy.
in this environment that's kind of a
Yeah,
dangerous
Yeah.
prospect.
lots of people have been laid off.
Mhm.
People
Yeah.
aren't working.
Mhm.
The only stores that are open are grocery stores. Yeah,
Pharmacies,
I don't know.
banks,
Yeah, grocery stores and
gas stations.
online banking, and yeah, but all the non-essential luxury things that people go to spend their extra money on
Online
are
shopping.
are closed.
Oh yeah, like
So if the goal is to get
Mhm.
people to like support their local businesses, they literally can't do that.
yeah, like how are they supposed to do anything if everything around them is closed except for, Food Lion or whatever?
And even if like someone like they're down in their luck, they've got to support their family for like the next 10 weeks is the earliest estimate of when this is going to die down.
Mm.
$1,000 is not enough.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm.
So why only send out one check?
I feel
Why
like
not just keep doing it?
I have a very negative
Why
opinion
not
about
have universal basic income is what you're asking.
That's exactly what
yeah.
I'm saying. Yes.
I have a very negative opinion about the entirety of the US government at this point because there's been just the ball has been dropped too many times is what I want to say. And I feel like this like last ditch effort to at least try and do something is more of a I really don't want to say it was more of a political move than an actual like helpful plan for all Americans because
Mm.
I believe that there's some people in Congress that at least care about their incumbents. But I feel like some of them, some people in Congress only care about getting reelected and not even in Congress, just look at a president in general. Like, I feel like he cares more about his TV ratings than the actual like number of deaths due to the coronavirus. It's like it's deplorable, but he's what we have to stick with. And apparently, he's handing out checks to everyone, so now he's okay. I I don't know. I've kind of lost faith in our government institutions. So any sort of help they provide is kind of like I feel like there's like another side to the coin. It's like
Yeah, I think that gets to a deeper seated feeling among Americans, specifically younger Americans, our generation in general. We don't particularly trust the political establishment anymore because we see all these things happening and nothing get done about them.
think the big problem is that like the American political system is just not really built to handle a crisis of this magnitude, if that makes sense. Like like the American political system is just like hyper partisanship, and it's been hyper partisanship since like at least the 70s. And so all of a sudden, like facing this global pandemic where it's like essential for people to like I don't like the phrase like reach across the aisle, but it's like essential for people to come to a consensus that this is something that needs to be fought, and like putting aside the fact that it's just like the people that are running our government aren't used to doing things in a manner that is both productive and is cooperative at the same time. Like even
Duh.
super little things are like politicized in this particular in stuff like this, and we just don't have the time or the resources to do that with the coronavirus.
I disagree that the system itself is the problem. I think it's a bit bigger than that. Like it's not like the Constitution and stuff, the way the Senate and the House is structured. I think that's one of the better ways to do it. I feel the problem is the people who are there and the mindset of Americans looking at politics in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like the problem, in my opinion, isn't that the system can't do it. The system clearly can do it. It's just that it doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, the people running it don't.
I,
Yeah, I think that was I agree with that. I think yeah.
I also feel that Americans tend to view politics as a team sport, but not a team sport that they take as seriously as other team sports.
Mm.
Like a bunch of Americans take their football very seriously, and they know their team. They know who's on their team. They know the strengths and weaknesses of their players. But they view politics as like a different game, where it's like, oh, I like this team. I'll support them. So instead of knowing what's going on, they simply vote for whoever has their logo,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't the way politics, in my opinion, should be.
Yeah.
But I feel it is the way it is currently.
I I don't think someone should be voted into office just because they can like, tote tote their party the best. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You could just buy your way to the presidency at that point.
Yeah.
So
Mm, I don't know.
I guess the next thing would be we could talk about the presidential election. Speaking
Oh,
of politics,
you mean
yes,
Trump
Rest
part
in
2?
peace,
I do mean
Bernie.
Trump part 2, yes.
God, I
So I have a specific example I'd like to bring up too. So have either of you heard of Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan,
He's
the
voting for
guy.
Yeah,
Trump. He campaigned for Sanders and now he's voting for Trump.
that's exactly what I want to talk about. Because Bernie dropped out, he's now going to vote for Trump. I,
Because
I think
none
that
of
keys into the appeal that Sanders had to people that Trump does as well, that Biden just doesn't.
Biden, if you've like seen him on the debate floor, he's absolutely trash. Like
I
he
want to
can't
know
like
who the vice president is going to be.
I don't think it's going to be Sanders, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He already promised in a debate that it was going to be a woman.
Right.
I mean, I guess if it's AOC, that's not bad.
No, it's not. No.
but it's probably not going to be
No,
her.
it's not
But
gonna be her.
I'm
That's
just
too.
it's probably gonna be like I don't know.
So you're going to say that's too extreme, weren't you, Caroline?
Yeah.
But is it that extreme? Is
For
AOC
me, no. For other
are any of
people,
are
For
any
the
of AOC's positions actually extreme,
no, none of
are
or
you
has it
asking
just
for my
been?
opinion or what I think that the American
I'm
public
talking
thinks?
about in general, because one thing the Republicans have always done better than the Democrats is branding,
Yeah.
and it's my opinion that branding is everything. Branding is how things get done in the world as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a strong brand, you can do basically whatever.
right.
And the Republicans have been really good about building their own brand up and taking down the Democrats' brand, both of politics and just in general. It's like the things Sanders advocates for, free healthcare, that's viewed as. Did my computer just go to sleep? That's viewed as hugely extreme in the States. However, if you throw a dart at Western Europe,
Mm-hmm.
any
Literally
country you
all of
hit
them.
will have it.
Literally any of them.
So comparatively, it's not extreme at all.
Yeah.
No,
It's just been
it's
marketed as, oh, that's a big change.
that's
Yeah, but the
socialism, and we
problem
don't
is
want to.
people don't
We don't
either
want the
people don't know that
hereditary.
or people don't want to believe that. So like if okay, yeah, Bernie Sanders' ideology is in the like wider scheme of things not that extreme, but in the realm of American politics where people don't do their research and people don't
Yeah,
like
it's been branded as
it's
super
yeah,
extreme.
then
Like
it's seen as super extreme, and then so choosing an electoral candidate that is part of that like other end of the spectrum and like doesn't can be torn down so easily by the like structures that the opposing political party has in place is just a recipe for disaster. So you're you're never going to get anywhere because people
I would
do
disagree.
you
You are getting somewhere. You're getting further towards the right of American politics,
yeah. But
and
yeah,
I feel it's intentional. I was talking with a friend of mine recently about the election, and I was trying to gauge like, how he views things in general, and essentially his opinion boils down to it's American politics swings from the right to the left with each election cycle, and then the trend line of that is positive.
mhm,
And the thing I disagree with him on is that American politics does swing from from the right to the left, but every time the right goes further right and then criticizes the left for trying to do the same thing, bringing it closer to the right. And it's my opinion. I know we're not going to make. I'm not going to make any friends with this, but I don't particularly care that the right and conservative policies hurt people instead of help them. So it's just more hurting people over time. And the longer they're in power, the easier that gets for them. Things like
mhm.
gerrymandering and stacking the Supreme Court.
Yeah, well, about that, like, if, if slash when, if whatever, I don't want to say anything, but like, if Trump is president for another 4 years, most likely the Supreme Court is right now at a 5-4. Honestly, Ruth Bader Ginsburg and whatever the heck the other dude's name is, they're kind of old,
They're
and
super old.
they are.
like potentially the Supreme Court could go from 5-4 to 7-2
That's
in the next
good.
That's
four
not
years
good.
That's goodbye
towards
abortion
and that means like that would change the trajectory of American politics for at least the next 50 years.
for our
Right.
generation.
Yeah, for
And
our
we'll have no
generation.
say in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's
because of
goodbye
the way
abortion,
that
goodbye any chance at
yeah.
universal basic income, goodbye
Free healthcare,
single payer health care, goodbye free
Medicare for
college.
Medicare for all.
because the
anything.
conservatives will be in charge.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
And if
I
there's
mean,
one thing conservatives love, it's letting the poor people suffer.
already with a 5-4, all of those abortion laws in the southern states and in freaking Ohio or whatever, um, all of those laws, people know they're unconstitutional as the Constitution and the Supreme Court stands right now. The reason that they created them is to get them up to the Supreme Court and to maybe reverse Roe v. Wade. And this fall, the Supreme Court is going to hear a whole bunch of those cases. And, like, who knows?
They're going to repeal it. That's all the conservatives care about.
And then, so then, if Trump gets elected for another 4 years, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I think I don't want to say the wrong justice, but it's a man.
It's the old white dude, right?
Yeah, I don't remember his
That's
name.
half the court now, though.
Um,
And another thing about abortion, I'm sorry, Paul, but you're just wrong. A fetus is not alive. It
Wow,
has
you
no concept of life. And by banning abortions, the effect of that is not fetuses get saved. It's women get hurt, which is a
Stephen
big deal.
Breyer, that's it. Justice Stephen Breyer and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah, Stephen Breyer is 81.
Isn't
And
Ginsburg like 90?
something like that.
She's kind of a badass, though.
She's 87.
Yeah, she's still a badass.
Yeah.
so
Have you taken a look at her workout routine? She does like legitimately hard workouts at 86.
Yeah, she's a hoot. Clarence Thomas is 71.
is
Didn't
that the
Clarence
justice that
Thomas
that
That's
like
the
barely
one that
said?
had
sexually
the
assault someone?
Yeah, that was the Brett Kavanaugh part 1 in the 90s. Samuel Alito, 70.
Brett Kavanaugh was a fucking asshole.
Hey,
He's 55.
no bad words.
Oh yeah, that's my first swear. I'm sorry.
Now we all gotta put a quarter in the swear jar.
Yeah, but yeah, so if you lose Stephen Breyer and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you're looking
I
at a
have
7-2.
I have 4 dimes. Does that count? I don't have a quarter on me.
Sure, why not? Doesn't really matter.
I'll pay my taxes. To you, at least, not to the IRS. Tax fraud is a family-friendly felony.
uh, yeah. With the way American politics are going, I've just lost faith in everything.
That's why I'm excited to leave.
You
So the next question is, what can 3 angsty teens do about any of this?
Nothing.
nothing really.
No,
What is left for us?
defeatist mindset.
I'm defeated.
There's got to be something that we can do. Come on, team.
Well, I mean,
Listen,
you can become a political activist, but
what good is that gonna do you if like
you can
all the
vote.
politics are controlled by like all the super PACs and stuff?
Well, just like Sanders says, it's time for a revolution.
Oh, do you want to start a bloody revolution
It
against the
doesn't.
United
It
States
doesn't have to be
government?
a shooting war. It probably shouldn't as well.
Well, one of the things that I think is interesting is that on the day that Bernie Sanders dropped out, I was reading people's reactions on Twitter. And this is actually kind of half a question. And actually, I think it's a full question. So,
Well,
like people who used to support Bernie Sanders and that who are now not voting for Joe Biden and who are instead opting to vote for third party candidates, which there are a lot of them. I think in the 2016 election, 20% of Bernie Sanders supporters like voted for Trump in the general election or something like that. So like there's kind of a pattern of people voting, like not wanting to vote for the candidate that the DNC picks.
Mm,
So, like, do you think that it's irresponsible of people to not vote for like the best of the worst and to instead like I don't know. I'm conflicted on like whether I think that it's absolutely stupid for people to be like all the never Biden stuff, but then it's also like he's so bad.
I don't think I don't even know his platform. Like I don't
Yeah.
even know what he's fighting for at this point. So I can't vote for him because I don't know what he is.
Hmm.
I think he's a reptilian.
Yeah.
It's just
They all
Biden,
are.
Biden's hoping to run on a what appears to be a platform of "you hate Trump, vote for me,"
Yeah.
which is not a platform.
that's not a platform. That's
Well, a
just
lot of his policies that he's rolled out after Elizabeth Warren dropped out, he took a lot of her policies, and he's also actually taken Andrew Yang's universal basic income stuff and incorporated that slightly into his platform. I just
I I understand that he wants to, he built his platform around other people's ideas, but God, I feel like as soon as he gets into office, he's not going to enact any of them, and it's just going to be another like 8 years of nothing. If
because that's the thing is that some people were like, yeah, well, whatever, like let Trump win in 2020 and then people will realize that they need the Democratic Party will realize that they need to move left and it'll just be too late for them. And like good riddance.
I
How hard would it be to start a political party?
Not that I don't think it'd be that hard to start one to get it to the point where this is the problem though. We like we just shouldn't have a two-party system. We should have percentage elections in my opinion.
it's worked
So,
in other countries, hasn't it?
Hmm.
what a okay. I'm gonna think out loud here for a second. I
Okay.
hope the two of you are okay with this.
If it's
We
bad,
start a
I'll
new
tell you.
party, right? We start a new party.
The three of us.
Yes.
Let's call it the Bull Moose Party. I just pulled that out of thin air. I didn't.
Really?
Oh
That's a
wow.
Yeah,
it's really good, nice and historic. I don't know. That seems really good, Caroline.
yeah. I just came up with it.
So we start a political party. We'll
Okay,
call it the Boiling Point Party because shameless plug.
okay. You're like, oh yeah,
Listen
go
to our
listen to our
podcast.
podcast. You're
Listen to our
already
podcast. Vote
listening
for
to
us.
it.
And then just win easy local elections, right?
See, but the problem with that is that people don't really.
That's not the problem. That's actually a benefit for us. Because if people
Well,
don't know that the elections are going on and we can generate a motivated base and then just steamroll a bunch of local elections,
well, but
we'll build the brand as a party of people who get stuff done, which is what Americans like to see.
but
And then you don't go straight for the top. That's the
no,
thing the libertarians and the Greens are doing bad, is you don't go straight for the top.
the people that are going to be voting like okay say you create a political party and you run in a local election that is happening in November of 2020 the turn you'd have to create a political party in an off year
Yeah,
because
I'm not saying we do it this year.
yeah
I'm
I'm just
saying
saying like if people voting in general elections are most likely going to be down ballot voting so once you go through like the big high name. Like if someone's running, if there's like a gubernatorial, is that the word?
gubernatorial,
I
yes.
don't like that. I don't
I'm
like
pretty
it.
sure
But
that's the word.
It determines who gets to be the gubernator.
yeah, If there's a
Just like-
gubernatorial election for the gubernator, then like people are gonna know who the candidates are. But then once you get like okay, like there's elections for the York County Soil and Water Commission,
Exactly.
right? People don't give two hoots about who's
Exactly.
on the Soil and Water Commission, but they're gonna vote for people who have a little R or a little D, like Mr. Weinstein says,
What about a little p?
next to their name.
A little B, is that what we're going with?
Little p.
People won't know what
Little
that
P.
means. It would be easier to just register as an independent.
No, we don't rely on mass turnout. How many people do you know actually fill in the Soil and Water Commission election box?
Well, my dad counts ballots, and he said they had to do the reason why I know about this is because he had to go and spend 14 hours in a room by the courthouse in like December recounting the votes for the Soil and Water Commission
Why? Was
because
it that?
one of the
What was the
precincts
margin?
reported it wrong. Okay. And there were 3 people running, and there's 2 people that were being elected, and one of them asked for a recount, and it was like close enough that they did it. And it turned out that out of the 100,000 ballots, like more than 100,000 ballots that they counted, only like 500 people had actually filled in for the
Exactly.
Soil and Water Committee, which isn't that crazy?
That's my whole point.
No one cares
If
enough
we
for
can
that
get
position.
500 people to join the party, we can
Do
win
you
that
know
election.
500 people?
No,
I don't.
that comes later.
Okay.
But the point is that local elections are fairly easy to win if you have a motivated base.
So the
And
moral of
so
the
you just
story
go
is
around and so the big plan is you get a bunch of local elections won, not just in Virginia, but we try to get some other places. And then you start going for state houses
Okay.
because state houses get a lot of stuff done and it just kind of flies under the radar.
Oh, it's
Where's
like
a lot?
The Virginia, like, what the heck is it called? The House of Commons?
No,
Is that not what it's
House of
called?
Delegates.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, that's Britain. Yeah, you're right. The House of Delegates is, like, they have gotten some shit done.
hey,
Nah,
Hey,
sorry.
That's more
Um,
editing for me.
they have gotten
congratulations.
some stuff done. Like, wait, I'm gonna pull up the list. I was just reading about it.
But exactly, that's my point. State houses get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah,
So if we can
that's
control
really
the state
impactful.
houses,
You know, because I gave up looking it up, but they passed this thing for like it's Virginia is the first southern state to pass like environmental protections, and they've just passed a bill that has added LGBTQ plus people to like the statute of discrimination for the state of Virginia for like jobs and housing and like stuff like that, which is like a big deal.
exactly.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just talking about it.
So if we can just control a bunch of state houses,
The problem is
we
that
can enforce our will on them.
okay, you're getting a little bit
A little.
yeah. I think enforce our
Okay,
will
I'll
is maybe not the right wording for that.
change the diction. We
Yeah.
can pursue the causes that we care about.
Yeah, that's
There you go. That's the.
the
Yeah.
spirit.
So, like, that's the plan. And then once you control the state houses, then you start setting candidates for federal.
Rick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but was this entire podcast just a ploy for you to start a political party and then take
No,
over
but it
the
might have
United
become
States?
that.
If
Uh,
so, you can't run a political party with people who do not reside in the United States.
Hey,
So
I reside in
I
the
can't
United
help you
States.
here. You are gonna have to do it.
I'm saying it'll work.
I mean, theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. In a perfect scenario, we would be able to start a political party, and eventually you could reach the point where somehow you could get someone running for like president.
We could start the
But
political revolution.
the other problem is like the way that the American electoral system works is like if you have a third party political group, like you're not going to get anywhere big.
That's not
Simply,
the goal to start, though. We take over the Soil
yeah,
and Water Commission first,
and then the world.
and then the world.
But like no, but
First,
it's just like
uh,
you like what's the dude's name that ran? Oh, I just dropped a pen. What's the dude's name that ran in 2016? Not Jill Stein. God bless her. Stephen
Um,
Breyer. Nope. I just
Gary Johnson,
that's the man.
the
Um,
mountain, the
like
person who
he
likes
got
mountains way too much.
a pretty substantial percentage of the vote in some states. Substantial being like, I don't know, 8%, 10%, 6%, whatever. But like
one
that,
of those. It's
if
one
you
of
One
those.
of
have a
the
state with like, hey Google, hello, hold on, give me half a second.
Oh my god.
Okay, I did turn it back on. Okay.
Is your
I forgot the
what?
mic was off on mic. Okay, hey Google, what's 10% of 35 million? The answer is 3,500,000. Okay, that's 3,500,000 people that voted potentially for someone with a third party candidate, which means that those 3,500,000 people, with whoever's candidate was elected, will not, whichever of the two parties the candidate was elected, will not get like their say in the government. I think 3,500,000 people is a lot of people.
It is a lot of
That
it
people.
is a lot.
I'm out
That's
of
a
breath.
That's
I got up so fast. Hold on.
that's a lot of people who would potentially vote for the boiling point candidate.
Okay, that's
hmm.
not where I was going with this.
Oh
That's
my
where I was
god.
going with this.
I was going.
Yes.
My point is like, then people get like discouraged. They're like, well, my vote doesn't count when I vote for a third party person because the percentage, because of the like the winner take all method of the way that the American politics system works. Like the reason why we have a two party system is because we have a winner take all political system. If it was a
Are we
percentage system, there would be more opportunity for people of different political parties and different organizations to run for office,
so
in my opinion.
you're saying delete the electoral party.
College.
Electoral you know what I meant.
That's why I said it.
Hmm. So we just get rid of the electoral college and we let it down. We let everything be chosen by popular vote. And
Yes,
yeah, I
get rid of the electoral college.
yeah, I mean the electoral college is kind of stupid because it I don't know.
Okay,
What state has 35?
who do we
Well,
know that could potentially? What does the York County Soil and Water Commission even do?
Protect the soil and the water.
wh- what?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. It's a mystery.
Do I know anyone who could run for the York County Soil and Water Commission?
Paul.
He's not old enough.
How old do you have to be?
I don't know.
You
I'm
could
trying
be
to find out.
18.
I believe Paul
I mean, Paul is probably a good candidate.
You got to get someone who,
cares.
cares about the soil and the water.
That's not necessarily important.
I feel like
See,
it should be a
see now,
consideration.
See, now you're getting into like actual political party territory where like they don't care about the actual policies, they just want to get elected.
I was there the whole
Okay,
time.
well, California has a population of 39 million. So,
Are you saying we should take over California?
if we
I'm
all
fairly certain
went
the
to
Boiling Point Party would
California,
do very well in California.
yeah. I feel like you can be pretty young to run. Here, wait. I'll text my dad. I'll ask him.
All right.
Here, I'll call him. Maybe
Well, we
he'll
have
answer.
we have just passed the 1 hour mark. I would just like to point out. So if if there's any other topics we should discuss, we should probably do it a bit quickly. Just a personal opinion, because I do have
How
to
do I
edit
get
this.
how do I get someone on this? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to get someone on the Soil and Water Commission ballot now.
Oh my god.
Oh, he didn't pick up. That is so rude of him.
Well,
I'm trying it again.
Okay, so you look at the Board of Registrars.
well, now that we're nearing the end,
Of the world.
I guess yeah.
The end
I
What
can
of
what
the
hear my sister
world
in the
as we
kitchen.
know
I
it.
know that she sees the phone is ringing and she's not picking it up.
what
Hello. Hi, Mom. Can you give the phone to Dad? I have a question for him.
So what big disaster do you think we're gonna get hit with in April?
Hey, Dad. Okay, I had a question. Okay, how old do you have to be to run for the Soil and Water Commission?
Okay,
You'll think I was joking.
Rick, if you run for the Soil and Water Commission, you have my vote, even though
I'm not.
I
I'm
technically
not.
cannot vote.
City seat in Williamsburg, and I think the prerequisites that they were 18. So I'm
Okay.
gonna say 18.
So Paul can run for the Soil and Water
Okay,
Commission.
that's all I was wanting to know.
Are you gonna run for the soil conservation seat?
No.
Could ask Google.
Oh, Google might know. You're right. Okay.
Or you can look on York County website.
Yeah, or I could call you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 18.
Wait. Okay. Actually, I had a follow-up question. How many ballots were filled out when you did the recount? Like, how many people actually voted for the people in the Soil and Water Committee?
It was like 14,000.
Oh, 14,000?
Yeah.
Wait, was that how many ballots, or that was how many people voted?
Well, you had that ballots is the same thing, right?
But like, I mean, like, how many people actually filled the thing out?
Oh yeah, like 14,000.
Oh,
Maybe more.
I thought you meant. I thought. Oh, okay.
It was a problem. One of the districts was a problem, but you had to recount everything. You couldn't just recount that.
So 14,000 people voted for the Soil and Water Commission election.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought there was that there was like 500 people actually voted for it, but you had to count like 14,000 ballots, and like half of them were blank.
Well, there was. I'm gonna say there was 400 were in the precinct that caused the problem, but you had to recount everything.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Once they found out that the one precinct was messed up, then they said, all right, well, we want them all counted. So we had to go back and count all the different districts.
Okay.
Because I mean, think about it, right? One district is messed up because the reason was because there was a little thing that said check one.
Okay.
But people didn't read that. Right underneath the name said you could check one. People didn't read that.
Okay.
So that was the problem.
All right.
So we had to go back and check all of them.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, bye, Dad. Have fun outside.
Okay, night.
Night. Okay.
Night.
What?
Night.
It is 4:30.
Anyway, apologies that went on for like 3.5 minutes.
I'm still not dissuaded.
My information was incorrect. I was confused. There were like 14,000 people that voted in the election for the Soil
Yeah,
and
so?
Water Commission. Hey Google, how old do you have to be to run in a local election in Virginia?
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help.
I'm like, you suck. Who doesn't know?
Do you have your Google voice like set to British?
Ooh.
Yes, it is a British man.
Caroline wants a British man.
And I'm not what's
An
I'm not
Anglophile?
ashamed.
You're not ashamed?
No, I'm not ashamed.
Is that really a thing to be
My
ashamed
Siri
about?
is also a British man. Actually, it might be a British woman. I don't remember. Hey Siri.
Caroline wants to date Boris Johnson, confirmed. Well, the water has come to a boil. What kind of pasta have we been making, Caroline?
Oh shoot, I forgot that was a thing.
Oh my god, that was the entire that's the entire gimmick of this podcast, Caroline.
Yeah, but we haven't recorded in like what?
2
Caroline,
months.
2 months?
pick pasta.
Okay. Let me think about it.
Oh.
No.
I need
You have
to-
no time to think. Go.
There is only action.
Okay.
The water is boiling. What are we making?
Okay, so the water is boiling. Did you know that if you put salt in your water when you're making pasta, it'll boil faster? Fun
Yes,
fact.
and keep
Yes.
the lid on works too.
Anyway, shut up. You can't talk. You're not Italian.
Pasta fazooli.
So I think
Pasta
we're gonna
fazooli.
make ribbon pasta. I think it's called pappardelle, but I'm not 100% sure.
How do I spell that?
Pappardelle.
Pappardelle.
Pappardelle. Yes.
Pappardelle. We're gonna make some ribbon pasta.
Large, very broad, flat pasta
Put
noodle, similar to
some-
wild fettuccine.
Yes, it's like a flattened fettuccine.
I'm looking at them. Yeah,
It's a little
I see what you're
thicker.
talking about.
A little girthier, you know.
It's thick fettuccine.
Put some basil, olives, tomatoes,
Fettuccine.
garlic, etc. Parmesan cheese, not the fake kind. If either of you use fake Parmesan cheese, I'm not your friend anymore.
I
FYI.
don't
Define
know what
fake Parmesan cheese.
Shake cheese. That's
Shake
heathenish.
cheese?
It's barbarous. The cheese, the fettuccine cheese, not fettuccine cheese. The Parmesan cheese in like the green cans that clumps up and you shake it out. Oh, it's just thinking about it. Ooh. Disgusting.
I have shredded Parmesan.
My dad spent over $100 on Parmesan cheese the other day.
That's a lot of cheese.
From Harris Teeter. We're stocked.
Alright.
And they cut it goes guys, if you want to get good Parmesan cheese, you go to the Harris Teeter in Williamsburg. They cut their Parmesan cheese wrong. They cut it like they cut the rind off of it. And then they cut them into chunks. And so you can use every single bit of the Parmesan cheese at the Harris Teeter. If you didn't know. Anyway, so that's what we're eating today.
Pappardelle, everyone.
Bernie supports magic unions. I have been Rick, aka the Patriarchy.
Are you no longer Rick?
No.
Okay. We'll discuss this at a later date. I have been Caroline Parziale.
I don't know what I am anymore.
He's John.
He's Shanghai Shek.
All right, guys. That's racist.
I am every day name imaginable. All
right, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the boiling point and eating our delicious pappardelle. We've talked a lot. Now we're gonna go. Hasta la vista.
Okay, yep. This is gone. Bye.